Okay, so let's build a document. So we could go to the CommonAccord website, or we can host that locally by synchronizing with GitHub. And there we'll find that we have many forms of documents. So these are the pros objects. Here's a sample document list which collects a few of the forms from this rather large collection. There we can see that you've got a basic framework for a number of kinds of agreements, and you've got non-disclosure agreements, you got consulting agreements. Let's use one of the non-disclosure agreements. So I've already loaded up a demo page here. You see all it does is point at that form of document. And I've preloaded it here because it takes a little while when I'm running both the system locally and QuickTime, which is capturing the video here. But basically, this is that document. This is that document. It's that document, which has the sets of little provisions all broken down like Lego. So this is that document. We notice that we have blanks in it. We have party names. So what I'm going to do is I will first fill in just a couple of these things so you can see how this works, and then I'll show you how we would do something complex like the name of like the information regarding a party. So that's P1, and this is P2, which is Quake. So we can fill it in, and we notice that it fixes it all across, and you can edit it anywhere. We can do the effective date. We'll make it somewhat computerish. Universal date, 18, like that. So you can fill these things in. We'll save a couple of these other ones for later. Now, for the party information, that's complex stuff. You'll see we need the party name here. We need the signature block for the, we need an identification block for the party, and we need a signature block for the party at the end. So we'll get an object for the party, and I happen to know what these names are. So P1, and we keep it, everything is a pros object, information about you and me and everybody else. It's an ID, so we'll use Acme Incorporated. Any of these names are possible. And for the second party, we'll use Quake. We could use an individual. We'll use 2 corporations for now, and we'll submit that. As it saves, it now updates the document. So this will take a little time for this to perform this task, because it's regenerating and we're running QuickTime. Apologies. But we'll soon see that this comes back with the information, the party names, and the information about the blocks all filled in. So it should be here soon. There we go. So it's got the party name, and it's got the party information, and it has a fairly complex set of information about the party. These things are objects too, and of course it's filled in the signature block as well, like that. So now we can continue to fill in individual things. Purpose would be, here, why don't we do this as let's assume that was the first draft, and now we're going to do a second draft. We're now day 2, and we're performing a second draft. So we've decided what the purpose is. Expect to discuss a business relationship. Make it rather vague. And now we'll make some selections here. So the receiving party is not an individual, it's Quake. So we'll make choice 2 like this. You'll see that collapses us to the text, but we've got more decisions to make. We won't specify the list, and we'll do more than include the employees. We'll include the lawyers and accountants. I am a lawyer. And then we will require them to do more than need to know. They'll have to have signed appropriate agreements, but we won't require that the other party show us the forms of agreement. So we've now selected those things like that, and we can go on and do more of these. Notice that I created that in those sets of changes are in Edit 2. So if we go here, we'll see that in our first document we have the information that we filled in nominally yesterday, and in our second one we have the information that was done in the second editing session, and one can continue from there. So you can have a third editing session and a fourth editing session. These of course don't have to be the same people. All they have to do is reference one another's work like this. If you just reference essentially the endpoint that you want to be jumping off from, you can continue in a number of different directions actually if you want to. So you could be having competing drafts or work from two different departments, what have you. So that's the basic notion. And here we'll see now that we've got this access information has got the stuff all worked out, only the parties, the directors and lawyers, etc. So the entire system, of course, we can continue like this, and we could say with respect to will terminate, we'll just make it terminate. It'll be without limit. It'll only be when the exemptions, the exceptions to confidentiality have been satisfied. Note that our cross-references work, and they work at whatever level you want, and that the defined terms also work in cross-reference wherever it is that you need to go. Okay, the introductory section of this. So that is a pretty comprehensive, rapid view of the of how you would use this, and the codification can be done on any form that you want. It's actually rather simple. So if we take, for instance, this is a set of startup documents that have some traction in Silicon Valley, and we've created forms for each one of these. That's the basic notion.